Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Tuesday, April 2nd. It is a rainy day in my neighborhood at this time, but it's so beautiful, so calming, so peaceful for me that I decided to open the window. Hopefully, it is the same. It feels the same for you and it's not a distraction or no sudden noises distract from the message. If you can even hear the rain, but I sure can, so it's probably more for me than for you. But anyway, I hope that you're doing well today. It is Tuesday, as I said, the 2nd of April. And yeah, it's been rainy here since yesterday, and I think it's supposed to be rainy for the next couple of days. And I just liken it to a nice purifying, it's just purifying. That's what I was feeling like. It feels like the perfect complement to the purging and preparation that's going on with the intensity of the energetic buildups toward the solar eclipse, which, as promised, I did post the True Brilliance message on the community tab, so I hope you get a chance to check that out, along with the Shavi Zane message before that, and also connected to that is pinned in the comments below is my last message, which was on Saturday going into Easter, more or less regarding that same buildup of energy and preparation. So anyway, let's see where we are today. Hopefully there's some new vibes. King of Swords. King of Swords, what the hell you want? The King of Swords yesterday came up in reverse, which I don't think I've ever seen, quite honestly. Not only was the King of Swords in reverse, the Ace of Swords was in reverse. So I don't know. Maybe the King of Swords wants to redeem himself in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, they're trying to redeem their image, their pristine image, and their reputation, but the energy speaks for itself. So I don't know. I'll bring you out here, King of Swords, but what you got to say today? In the upright, of course, it would be someone that's operating honorably and integrity, someone that you can trust, noble, highly communicative, objective in their decision making, expert in their field, maybe even an agent or some professional of sorts. Could be legally, or in law enforcement or in justice, in the justice system. Could be a number of different things, but typically with the King of Swords in the most upright position, it would be someone that you feel you can trust, that's trustworthy. They may be a bit emotionally detached, but that also lends to their objectivity, which means that they won't be swayed sensationally. They can look at the facts and circumstances, the truth of the matter, and make decisions or communicate clearly and fairly based on that, so all of that good stuff. But here, when we have the Five of Pentacles here, I don't know, it could be a matter of a fall from grace, or this could be separate energies. I'm not sure. Yeah, it could be a matter of this being the public persona. As I started to say, somebody wants to avenge their reputation or protect their image in some way, shape, or form. They worked a great deal, because you know how it is. It's said that it takes a lot to establish a good reputation or a positive image for yourself, but it takes nothing to tear it down, like milliseconds, you know, one bad story, one false rumor or real rumor, whatever, but one slanted narrative could completely diminish everything that you worked hard to achieve, or everything that you actually, you know, do stand on, if it truly is honorable and upright. So, you know, integrity is one of those things that it's like currency, you know, especially this day and age, that if you are well established in it and on it, it would be probably the most important currency to protect, commodity to protect of your personal expression, and to maintain, cultivate even. So I don't know. I'm not gonna take this Five of Pentacles out. We're not gonna do that, but I will remember that it was there. Oh, I won't forget. But let's see what direction this message goes in. Clear across the room, eh? All right, so we got some travel. You know what, let's go up here so I can get a few more cards than normal, because I'm gonna try to move swiftly today and get a nice range of information on the board. So we got some movement, transportation. I'm hearing reconciliation, perhaps. Somebody's definitely trying to cross over to some more peaceful and calmer waters. And this is all sword energy, so it could be by way of their own mental state, how they're thinking and feeling about, not so much feeling, but what they're thinking about themselves, or maybe what's being said about them, what the general conception of their character is. Someone's wanting to move beyond some chaotic energy. But is it that they cause it? Oh, the Moon card here. So for me, I'm not wanting to peg this as I feel it so soon, but it's given that somebody wants to get away from a situation that they ultimately created. It's like they created a big mess and now they want to sail away to escape it. But with the Moon card here, things are never that cut and dry, because the Moon is distortions, illusions. Yeah, so it could be lies that someone told, or just illusions that they created, again, around their persona, around their true character, created a whole narrative about themselves, or about their lifestyle, and it hasn't had the most positive effect. And it's like somebody would want to just leave it all behind, like just literally maybe even fall off the face of the earth if they could, or go somewhere and start completely fresh, where nobody knows their name, or there's no intel about who they are. Like, it could be somebody, that may be facing public scrutiny or something, or look at this. Yep, facing some type of public scrutiny or gossip or whatever, just people talking. But again, there's some co-creation in that experience that this person would get to be accountable for. And that's the part that they're really trying to escape, because it feels like they kind of brought it on themselves, on their self, which makes it virtually impossible to escape. It's like somebody just, either their lies have finally caught up with them, or the truth has. And it's a hard pill to swallow. It's hard to face. Because this is somebody in the spirit of despair, depression. They can't quite backtrack. They can't really push back on this traction of truth that is starting to express itself, or who they're being exposed. Some way there's some level of exposure that's happening here that, like I said, somebody would want to escape, but they really can't. Even if they were to go away, the word still lingers behind them. And it feels like somebody feels like damned if they do, damned if they don't, because if they do disappear, then that's some admission of guilt in their absence. So it's like they're trying to keep up a face, a fortified front, like, no, I'm good, everything's good, like standing in their truth, but it's really not a real truth. So that's the problem. But internally they're like crumbling inside, because this is not really selling as much anymore. So they would want to escape it all, leave it all behind. But again, that feeds into the narrative and almost like adds validity to the gossip or the talk, to just walk away, but is literally killing them softly to stay as well, and try to like face this with this mask of, everything is fine, everything is awesome. Wow, what a life. All right, let's get one more on the other side. And ultimately, I feel like the King of Swords is upright, because it's somebody, wow, having a really, this is big change that's coming. It's like you can't, it's someone that really, this King of Swords is upright because what is being revealed is the truth. It's like what they're trying to uphold is the illusion, but what is being unveiled is actually the true nature of this person's character. And now it could really be like gossip too, because this could be how he's feeling about the exposure, in this depressive state where he doesn't want to be bothered, doesn't want anybody, doesn't really want to be around people. But like I said, he kind of has to be for some reason, or has to kind of put up the front, like I'm outside, you know what I mean? Like I'm outside, I ain't hiding. This is, showing up in places where I ain't even going there because that's just too detailed. But Five of Pentacles is given that it's more to it than just the spirit or an emotional disparity, that this could be somebody losing resources, losing money, losing energy, could be unwell, literally sick, and have some type of dis-ease about them. And here's a partnership expression on 2 cards with the 6 of Swords. Well, it could be partnership. It could be partnership, or it could be, this definitely is though. So it could be a matter of somebody being outed on account of their associations, by affiliation with some energies or whatever. Like maybe it's not exclusively gossip to them, but it could be them in connection with another person or other people or a place or a circumstance, like somebody getting roped into the storyline in a way that is not favorable. It's not a good look. and they're sick about it, emotionally and possibly physically ill about what's taking place. And this is what's happening behind the scenes, or what someone would want to conceal. Like somebody would want to retreat and go and feel this way in private or somewhere where nobody knows them, but it's like for some reason it's virtually impossible for somebody to really hide from this. In addition to, as I said, potentially it being their pride, which, you know, the scripture says pride cometh before the fall, that won't allow someone to surrender and retreat because they don't want to look like they lost, or look like, you know, the rumors are true or whatever. But it's like, man, you need to go heal, literally. You need to go lick your wounds, find someplace safe for your mental health, your spiritual health, perhaps even your physical health. There's some attending to, some care that needs to happen here, but somebody's too busy trying to put on airs. That for who and for what? Because at this point, the people that have the most to say don't have the resources or the will to care for you in the wake of all of this. So it's like wasted energy all around. All right, let's see what else we got. Yeah, well, that's a confirmation. That's the Ace of Wands. What's the Ace of Wands about? Oh, Ace of Swords. Yeah, it's like somebody's more fixated on power and passion and, you know, attaining some upper hand is what I'm getting from this, than they are about surrendering to the truth. And if you see like the difference here at the King of Swords, what you so fixated about the Ace of Wands for? You know, it's like still worrying about all the wrong things. This is your wheelhouse, truth. This is what's authentic, what is organic to you, and you're still worrying about somebody else's power or some expression of creativity or opportunity outside of yourself. It seems like it's distorted. Oh, and you know what? I just realized that the Five of Pentacles came back out. So I guess that's affirming. I forgot. I said I wasn't going to forget, but I actually did. And that's affirming here. Wow. Yeah, so somebody's trying to hold on to power and control. But what's really, truly important here? Is that even attainable at this time? Or even if it is, it's like I said, it's a distorted perspective as to what truly is powerful. Truth is. That's the ultimate power, especially when you're living in your own. Yeah. Nine of Pentacles. Let's see. Yeah, worrying about somebody else. Somebody else having the upper hand. Perhaps in this dynamic here, this Five of Pentacles energy, or whomever this person may have been connected to. Worrying about maintaining the upper hand in some relationship dynamic, or a dynamic of acquaintances or something like that, or just over feminine energy in general. Like really tripping if this is that primitive. Somebody literally focused on passion with a feminine energy. that for all intents and purposes is over here minding their business. And the Nine of Pentacles, not looking phased or or maybe one that has been yeah, somebody feels rejected. Okay, so this might be someone that is used to being able to wield the power of their wand, their sexual energy, their creativity, their finesse, their seduction, the power of seduction over feminine energies, especially those that are unsuspecting or vulnerable or maybe naive in this regard. And it seems like those advances aren't being well received. So yes, that's why somebody's feeling rejected all around, because it's like there's some word out on the street, perhaps maybe that this man ain't got no money, this man has, you know, some package, you know, that you may not want to receive, or that they just have fallen off in some way, shape, or form, or maybe a liar, or they're not what they say they are, not all they're cracked up to be. And this person has had a hard time controlling this narrative at this point. It's kind of gone beyond their point of control, and they can't really escape it. And that's why they're feeling stuck in this position here where, as I said, they would want to escape, but they won't. Either they won't or they can't. And they also won't accept this Ace of Cups, which is the ultimate truth and fulfillment and nourishment. They rather resort, their fixation is more on the power that they feel they've lost, or the power that's in jeopardy at this point. Like if they can't wield their wand over the least of these, the docile damsel in distress, then what good are they? You know, what good is their word in the streets anymore? You know, their face card, like what good is it anymore if they can't do that much at least? So somebody, wow, yeah, look at that Queen of Cups that kind of fell into my hand. I just want to see what it was. Yeah, somebody can't finesse and seduce and allure and you know, they can't play those, they can't play sexual games anymore. They can't play, I can't even limit it to sex, because it may not even be that, but they can't play, I keep hearing reindeer games. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just like what they did for fun and for fortune. Yeah, with the Nine of Pentacles, that makes sense, fun and fortune. So they would do it for free off of the power surge and ego boost and all. That's what that is, ego. They would do it for that alone, and that has a value attached to it, of course, because that's a boost of confidence that just kind of builds up this persona here as the King of Swords, to have some exertion of power and passion behind your persona, you know, to have some like a life, like a drive behind who you present yourself to be, you know, to pretty much almost believe who you're propping yourself up to be for yourself, you know, to really be convicted. There it is, like convicted by your own fabricated persona, because when you're convicted, you have conviction, and you could definitely sell that energy beyond you. You know, other people believe it when you do. But somewhere along the line, somebody has lost conviction, maybe lost confidence. It could be on account literally when this physical dis-ease well, it's first manifested spiritually and then has transformed into something physical. So it really just could be that simple and primitive, that somebody's lost the facility of their magic wand, and since that's what they stocked their self-worth, it's like their gold standard was in what they could do seductively and passionately. And now that that has depreciated in value in whatever way or for whatever reason, the whole persona has taken a hit. They couldn't Don Juan, a damsel in distress who didn't know them from Adam, even if they really tried. It's like somebody lost their mojo. That's what it is. Somebody has lost their mojo. So it's like they no good here, but they no good elsewhere. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The truth is still here, so you can't run your games here. You don't literally have the facility. Somebody literally might not be able to, to get active. Or because of whatever disturbance or dis-ease there is, I'm hearing dis-ease or disorder is the issue here that has brought somebody down. So somebody could have could be projecting this persona of BDE, but they don't really have the force behind it anymore, because when it's time to actually, whip it out and get busy, limp city. And that could even be energetically speaking, that somebody's built up this persona of having some great power, force, creativity. Could be off of other people's energy or just off of their own delusions of grandeur. And it's like the illusion, the mask, the glamour of it all has dissipated, and people actually want to see what you're made of. Like, can you come up with ideas on the spot? Can you, keep cooking with new energy, new creativity without a team or without a partner or whatever? It's like somebody's kind of being put on the front stage to get active or to perform, literally to perform in their own regard and on their own accord, and they're impotent. Creatively, energetically, somebody may not have the money that they've been acting like they have, acting like they big time, big shot, got hella connections and hella resources, and it's like all of the facades are just kind of faltering, and all that's left is the truth of what the man truly has, which is just his words and his stories of grandeur. Damn. Yeah, like hell yeah, this is the backfire right here. What's really going on? And it could be word spreading like wildfire as to what, like every time he even tries to run game or tries to, what am I hearing? Like tries to avenge his reputation in some way, like to restabilize it or reaffirm it in some way, shape, or form. I'm getting like shooting blanks. That's what this energy is giving. And if this is creatively, it's like, it's just somebody just throwing wet noodles. Damn, there's so many analogies here. Like throwing wet noodles against the wall to see what sticks, and nothing is really popping. Like somebody really lost their mojo. They lost their mojo. But it's because it wasn't founded in truth. somebody was projecting their mojo in a different form than what was organic to them. As I said, like this, like the King of Swords saying that he's really the King of Wands and he really has this firepower energy, and you know he's dicking them down, and you know he's got hella ideas, like unlimited bank of inspiration and ideas and creativity, and come to find out he's sourcing it from other energies that he no longer has access to or is no longer connected to, other affiliations that he's disconnected from now. So he's at a deficit of inspiration and creativity. Or women start to really tell the story as to like what it's really like to be intimate with this person, if at, you know what I mean? It's like people are starting to kind of compare notes in some way, shape, or form as to what is the truth of the nature of this person, this King of Swords energy. Like, oh, well, it really wasn't all that, like it was alright, So it's like that word is traveling fast. Or God forbid not God forbid, but for this person, God forbid, this is on account of someone's actual sexual preference, their sexuality, that may be circulating as news, that they actually are into the wand more than they are into the cooch, to say it very unsubtly. Yeah, it could be a little bit of that going on too. So somebody is just devastated that everything that they worked so hard to conceal or craft, one way or the other, is just crumbling. Oh yeah, this could be, it could be by way of people that have been finessed here with this Nine of Pentacles. This energy's coming from that backfire. As I said, it doesn't have to be exclusive to feminine energy. It could be just energies that were vulnerable to his power moves and power plays that now have something to say about it. Or now are speaking to it, or just adverse to it altogether. Maybe not people that's protesting him in the streets, but it's like, well, if you ask, I'll tell you type of energy. And what they have to say is not what someone would want to be spoken on, not the type of energy someone would want to be spoken on their name. All right, so we got the Ten of Pentacles here. What's the Ten of Pentacles about? Let's see. Page of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. It's like childlike energy. So it's like somebody trying to finesse their way, or like talk their way back into some prestigious, here's that energy that, like I said, it's like they don't have access to what they used to have access to before. But they're not only just trying to talk their way into it, they're kind of trying to seduce their way in, but from a pitiful standpoint, like almost trying to make themselves some type of victim, or, like humble themselves in a way for opportunistic purposes. Like, how do I express that? Because it's not the Knight of Wands. It's the Page of Wands. Oh, they're trying to lie their way back in and giving empty apologies. Like really trying to soften the heart of whomever the gatekeepers of this association are, or the associates themselves, like trying to make amends to regain access or entry or connection. It's like somebody going back to what they know to be comfortable, but it's menial as the Page of Cups, because they don't even really want to do that. It's not sincere. they don't want to be back in those circles, but they, like I said, they feel impaired from moving forward, but they also feel disabled from operating in the capacity that they were, because they don't have the connections and the access and resources they used to have. They don't have the mojo. Somebody might have really lost some gifts, mystically speaking, because that moon card, didn't the moon card pop out? Yeah, it did. It did. The moon card was on the bottom. Somebody may have lost a significant range of their own personal gifts, the ones that they neglected because they were too busy chasing after other energies or supplementing their life force with other people's life force, manipulating, siphoning, maybe outright even stealing or finessing, monopolizing, whatever the case may be. They were doing too much dibbling and dabbling elsewhere in a very secretive, covert, and occultic way. And that's what they, not only have they lost access to what they had access to, they all plentiful access, so it seems, with the Ten of Pentacles. They also lost access to what they had rightfully inherited, which was their own unique ability and personal power, their own personal prowess. They lost that too because they didn't value it. Yeah, that's what's happening here. It could actually even be resources that somebody lost, and that somehow has been rerouted or transferred to this organization or somewhere, but not to their personal account. It's not accessible by them anymore, whether this is material wealth, spiritual health, or gifts, talents. Oh, it could even be as practical as somebody was an agent. I said that too. Somebody might have been an agent or some type of talent. What do you call it? Like a manager, or what's the word when you say you not cultivate, like procure talent and entertainment in some way, shape, or form. But there was something freaky about how they acquired or courted that talent, and then how that talent was manipulated or taken advantage of in some type of way. And now it's like whatever was acquired on account of those energies is now being transferred either back to where it belongs, or I don't know, but something's happening here with some transfer of funds. And that's what really got somebody sick, because they may have lost a business, a platform, and they're not well, or they're not well because of all these losses that are occurring, and it's manifesting as dis-ease, or the storyline of someone's dis-ease, whether it be emotionally or I would say psychologically, or professionally and materially, has been released, and so people are breaking away. Yeah, that feels different. Like they're trying to cut ties so that their image doesn't get tarnished. Oh, so he's become the Cancer. That's what it's given. So, wow. So it could, okay. So it could be still the matter of his affiliations and stuff that have been exposed, have caused a blemish on his character and on his business practices. It's just like a can of worms, literally, with the Eight of Wands that's opened up to question everything, the whole operation, who he really is, how he gets his money, who's he affiliated with, what he does with, what his business may be a front for or not, how he serves his clients or whatever his clientele may be, you know, where the proceeds of the business are really going. Now people are coming out with all types of stories about, you know, whereas before the prosperity may have kept them quiet, or the promise of prosperity, the potential could have kept people a little bit more subdued. But now it's like ain't nobody got nothing to lose. They just telling everything, spilling all the beans, and trying to disconnect, you know, really trying to disassociate from this energy on account of their associations and their reputation being tarnished. And something here that, what is this with this Ten of Pentacles? Yeah, Magician. Yeah, there's something funny about how this money was gained, and it could have been in a very taboo way. Something double-minded here with the Magician. It's like what it was said, how it was said to have been, or how it's been reported to have been acquired on paper, is different from what it actually is. Like somebody knows how to launder funds or hide financial ties very well up until now. Because either somebody is blowing the whistle about it, or like I said, it's just like a can of worms altogether where everything is being scrutinized. So it's like, okay, well, how did you make that money in the first place? Where'd that come from? And where does it get filtered? And what does this business do? What is that? It's like somebody's whole life is being turned upside down. And there's literally nothing to be done about it. Let's get a few more on the bottom and then I'm out of here. Yeah. And low key, they're just trying to do the best to keep it all together, to keep themselves grounded energetically, and probably to hold on to whatever they have left. You know, move some things around here and there to protect what they can hold on to at all costs. Trying to protect their dynasty and their legacy in the long run from this attack. So they're going to try to move money around or launder some funds here or there, hide some accounts, move, you know, maybe have family sign this over to family, and, you know, for, yeah, like, you know how it goes. Somebody's trying to like really move the pieces on the board around so that if it all comes to, or when it all comes tumbling down at this point, that what they have left or what can be accounted for is not all that they have left. That's what they're trying to do. But I don't know. Let's see where else we at here. Like they the Magician card is they really, yeah, it's like here's the police is on that trail, like, nice try, buddy. Well, or it's just hard to do that because their eyes are watching. Now that this public scrutiny and you know, bad press, it's much harder to shake and move the way that they normally could. And it's also giving me that somebody may have moved too late. Like they should have probably bust certain moves a little bit sooner, because now it's kind of like last ditch effort, and it's a little bit it's more or less in desperation, so it's kind of harder to discern again wisely, to make grounded decisions. You know, somebody would typically be better with that, with making good decisions and, you know, being empowered by that process. But now when you're moving in desperation and with anxiety and eagerness and fear, it puts a different energy on. It's like you're almost tying yourself into these decisions for the worst. Like, not, it's making things worse is what I'm saying, because your moves are being observed, or they can be tracked. See how it's like connected, like it can easily be tracked where the money's going and whose hands it's exchanging with. And it's like, you would think, oh, if I signed it over to my mama, then I'm cool. But they could hit her with some affiliation or some, you know, like rope her into whatever at this point the investigation or the accusations may be, and then her hands become just as dirty as yours. And so therefore that money is what? Evidence, confiscated by, you know, whomever the authorities may be. So it's like nothing is really safe here, not on account of what was gained in any type of corruption or injustice or unfairness. You know, you can't protect energy in that regard. You can't. You have to be willing to let it go in order to truly save yourself at this point. Or I don't know. This is crazy. All right, a couple more and then I'm out. Exactly, the Tower. Struggle too. So that means it's like somebody could make the necessary changes on their own, which would be in the adverse, given it kind of fell to the side. In the reverse, you know, it's like, you know what you're up against. Now you could either surrender to this change, sirens. You could either surrender to this change and make it easier on yourself by going with the flow, or you could make it harder for yourself and fight to the death. Fight the system, fight the process, you know, try to avert justice and judgment, karma, retribution, like still trying to play the system, trying to play those reindeer games, like I'm saying. And then ultimately you get thrown out of the Tower, which is far worse, especially when we're talking about the law in this country anyway, and the justice system and things of that sort. Like when they got their foot on your neck, you do much better surrendering than resisting, as we all well know. One more, and I'm out of here. Yeah. Yes, somebody's walking either straight into a tower at worst, or this is really just someone being faced, like I said, with a very definitive choice. You're either going to let this thing play out naturally as it's been ordained to do so, let things be cleared away so that you can rebuild on a more fortified foundation, or you're going to keep on running into burning buildings trying to save your fortune. Money that's burning anyway. It's already on fire. So are you going to go down with the flames with it? Or are you going to figure out how you can start fresh and make something happen with whatever you have left or whatever mercy there is to maintain? I don't know. And it's very specific how I rolled this out, but it feels just general to anyone, masculine or feminine, that's still trying to uphold fake personas, you know, that are still lying to themselves about who they are, lying to others, and still trying to maintain some platform or relevance on a lie, you know, trying to maintain a platform, a business, a family, and a personality, or not personality, but like a reputation, clout, access, did I say affiliation, associations, on account, power, certainly, most certainly, trying to maintain power built on false pretenses. That's at the highest level and at the lowest level. Even if you're still lying to yourself about who you are, and you've built such a livelihood upon that rock of ridiculousness that you're afraid, you know, to shift because of afraid of what you may lose, particularly materially. You're fighting a losing battle at this point, because only what is authentic is lasting in this season and in this lifetime at this point. So anything that has been built otherwise, an objection to truth, has to be cleared away or has to be reconciled, reformed, released, whatever. It's definitely energy of retrograde on all over this message, that it's time for reformation and for redemption. And so if there's a misalignment with truth and reality, righteous reality, not the projection of reality, but righteous reality, it's going to come crashing down. It's already on fire, even if you don't realize it. Some people may not even know how much they've been exposed at this point, or they don't want to. That could be the other thing, like denial, you know, like feeling like, well, if I just keep up this image for long enough, then people will actually believe it again or buy into it, or they'll have to believe it must be true, or they may have gotten something wrong if I still look like I got it all together. But eventually all will be exposed to the bare bones of exactly what it is. Full card. And you have the luxury of rebuilding, but in something that is honest, honorable, true, noble, authentic, organic. You have the option, but not before the release of what is not, of all that is not. And you can be as resistant as you want to be. Yeah, here's a Hierophant. As resistant as you want to be for the purposes of maintaining status, position, authority, power, the structure of society. Here is that energy on a universal level, because this could very much so be that. Of course, as I said, it could be at the highest positions of power and at the lowest, ideally, not really, because there really is no high and low. That's the illusion itself, that dynamic where everyone's being leveled out to answer for exactly who they've been, no matter what your seat of position may be, what power you think you wield or have wielded. you're still going to answer for who you've been. And your position, your power, your authority, your access, your ordinance. This could be a pastor, it could be the CEO of a company, could be the priest, it could be a judge, it could be a lawyer, hell, it could be a community leader, a public official, it could be anybody in a position of man-ordained authority or even self-acclaimed authority that ultimately, as I've said before, is just being held accountable for their profession of faith. Whatever you profess yourself to be or profess yourself to believe or do, it's like the universe is now testing you, challenging you in that truth, and you get to either live in it, live up to it, or be exposed to what you are and who you are. So if you're a world leader, how you're leading your territory or in that assignment is going to be challenged. If you are the local pastor or priest, how you are shepherding your congregation, how you are serving your community, how you may even just be living your natural life will be challenged. And by God, for your sake, hopefully it truly is in King of Swords energy, honorable and true and upright. But certainly, yeah, no one will be able to avoid that challenge. No one. Masculine, feminine, great power, simple position, don't matter. Everybody's getting the challenge. Seven of Wands, and really it's just a matter, it's more so a charge as to what foundation you are firmly standing upon. Again, if you say this is who you are, all right. When the world is against you, or when the world was against you, when the odds were against you, when there was hella talk about who you are and what you do, or criticism or opposition or question, resistance, how did you fare that test? Did you stand firm on who you know yourself to be, or did you crumble under the pressure? Will you stand firm, or will you crumble under the pressure, or will just surrender to the truth, which is no harm, no foul. It is what it is. But those that are going to resist the inevitable are going to have the hardest time of all than those that may take a bit of a hit, or may have to even confront the true, their own true identity for themselves, with whether anyone's watching or not, to come to certain realizations about who they've been or who they are, and then have to respond accordingly to that truth. Some may have to come to that confrontation in their own skin, and it still matters how you submit and surrender or how you resist on it in any regard, but more so what is just the most justifiable response, because that's between you, your supreme self, meaning the expression of you that you project to be or wish to be, and the supreme source that you may or may not submit to. It really is not so much of a spectacle outside externally as it's been even projected here. That's the mind fuck, is that such as the King of Swords and the other energies associated feel like they got to do it for the eyes that are watching. But I was hearing earlier their eyes are watching God, but more so God's eyes are watching you. So do it for those eyes, for that expectation and speculation more so. And when I say God, as I said, that could be as expansive as a supreme source beyond tangibility, but at least it's the supreme self, again, that you aspire to be, certainly. So if you are claiming to be such, you're going to have to answer for it and answer to it. It's like you're going to be held accountable for who you proclaim to be. All right, so I'm leaving it at that. Damn it. Man, thank you for listening and watching. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, just keep being you. If you being you in the greatest capacity of what you know how to be. You know what I mean? It's not like anybody's perfect out here, perfectly imperfect, if anything, as they say. And that's okay, because we're always aspiring to higher and more and greater, but in our authentic pathway, not in somebody else's shadow or by someone else's proclamation or projection or whatever, societally, intimately, and everything in between, personally, and everything in between. So as long as you are following the path that you feel is designed for you, doing what you feel you're aligned to do, being who you feel you're called to be, you don't have to even worry about the talk of the town, because some people are going to talk regardless about what they think is true about you. You don't have to spend no energy trying to combat those narratives, disprove them, refute them, none of that. Let people say what they're going to say and think what they're going to think, as long as you know that's not delusion in this, as it was in this case, where somebody thinks that if they just keep plugging in that narrative, eventually they'll pull the wool back over everybody's eyes. That I'm speaking to those that are just being their most righteous selves in this moment, in this realm of reality, who they know to be, who they have the capacity and propensity to express their energy as. You don't owe anybody any explanations for that. You don't owe anybody any understanding, to make anything understandable, or to, counsel or console anyone into being comforted by your identity, in any way. If people don't feel comforted or don't feel settled, that's between them and their supreme, So on the level of authenticity and being organic and natural and true to self, that's the only accountability and obligation you have, is to self. Everybody else can kick rocks, literally. So anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.